What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another edition of Funk Music with Zack right here on IBM.TV every Sunday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, 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 everybody. All the Funketeers all around the world, all my true funk soldiers, all my club Funketeers and funk ambassadors. How y'all doing out there today? Thank you for hanging with us. Today, we got a special treat. I even broke out my special Spider-Man cup just for today's guest. My man is from the pro school. That's right, you heard me. From the pro school of music. He's going to be kicking it with us, talking about some things that most of you might not know, especially a lot of the younger generation and the people that are just getting into the business. I have today none other than the chairman of the board, Mr. Ken Knox, and I'm going to bring my guest in right now. Come on in, Ken. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, Zach. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm good, baby. I broke out my Spider-Man cup. He only comes out on special occasions.
Uh-oh. Well, since you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to break out my Earth, Wind, and Fire more.
You know what? We got to talk about that. We were talking off air yesterday. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
I like that, see? I'm loving it, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, like I was telling you in the green room before we went on.
Yeah.
I started feeling all lightheaded and stuff. I said, "Oh shoot!" I said, "Golly, I got to get in." I don't want to call Zach and cancel because I'm going through with it.
Oh, thank you. You know what? If you got to jump off, it's fine. If you don't feel well at some point, let me know. I appreciate it. It means a lot, man. You're a special human being in a special spirit. And it took me a minute to finally get you on, but I'm so glad that you agreed to come on. It was kind of a last minute thing as well.
Shout out to our brother Mark Lee for this.
Yo, Mark is the man. Mark, the man behind the glass, my producer for both my shows. He keeps it rolling, keeps it funky, and Mark is a good dude, man. He's a good man. So where are you at? I know you used to you came from Detroit, but are you in Detroit now?
No, I'm in South Carolina.
You're in South Carolina. Okay. How are you and your family doing with everything, coping with just not the negative stuff, but just how are you doing as far as dealing with what we got going on, man? We'll get to the music in a minute.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're staying conscious, of everything that we do. Myself, my wife, and my band. We're all being extra careful as no extracurricular going here and going there and staying here. So we're doing what we have to do, and we do it, and we come back, relax, and wait for the next day to happen. So
cool.
So I tell you what, one of our guys, my guitarist, he came down with COVID in March.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And I was a little scared because we had just rehearsed like a week before he came down with it. And I said, "Oh," so he was out probably 2 months.
Okay.
But we couldn't perform anyway, so they gave him time to recuperate. So he's doing fine, and
good.
So
okay.
that let us know that hey, it's still out there. It's out there.
Yeah, I always ask my guests since we've been locked down about their health and family first before I get into other things, because to me it's bigger. We're in the fraternity. Obviously, you're music pioneer and legend, but those of us that are in this fraternity, music is a small world. It's a small business. Globally, it's huge, but it's small, man. And without COVID, this past 2-3 years, we just been losing so many people. It's been a plethora of just things. And I don't mean to bring you down. I just always think like just this week, like yesterday, I did something for Eddie Van Halen, and just this week alone, man. And I often wonder, what the future holds for us, because it's like that next crop of musicians are coming up, and a lot of people that weren't feeling so hot and doing so well now are getting on to that next level. And it's a blessing. And what I'm trying to say is to have had that in my generation. You know what I mean? I grew up in the greatest generation of all time, brother. Let me tell you.
You're right about that. And you're right. We have lost, but those artists have given us, like you said, so much in our generation. I read a story on Eddie Van Halen yesterday. I didn't know. It was the fact that he came from a mixed background.
Yeah, that just came out recently. Yeah.
You saw that? So so he had some struggles, coming up, when he was, as an adolescent, never would have thought about this, But yeah. So you're right. We lost some great people, man. So
Yeah. All right, so let's kick it back. Chairman on the board, a Detroit Canadian kind of based thing. Back when music was actually professionally done and cats actually sang and played, you guys actually sang and played stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we all know the hits. Obviously, we know the hits, and we're going to get to them in a minute. But in 1974, right, you got a chance to really do it. What got you into the music game prior to that?
Okay, so growing up, see, my brother played saxophone.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager, I don't know. So wait a minute. He was probably about 20, and I was probably 11. And he played Barry sax.
Right.
And when he would get tired of the saxophone, he put it in the corner somewhere. But I would go in there, sneak in there, get it, put it together, start tooting on it.
Right.
Yeah, and so he saw the love that I had for the instrument, and I hate to say this, but it happened. In the riots of Detroit in '68,
yes,
my brother bought me a saxophone from a guy running down the street with a saxophone.
Wow!
And he stopped him. He said, "Hey man, what you got?" And the guy said, "Sax." He said, "I want that." I think he paid $50 for it. That was my first saxophone. Came out of Detroit riots in '68.
Wow.
The other part of my story, yeah, man. I wish I had it now. So the other part of my story is my sister sang in a gospel group, and they were the first gospel group on Motown Records. And that was she was an influence to me as well. So, and then growing up in Detroit, like you said, I mean, the music was all over the place. Temptations, Smokey Robinson, Supremes, whatever. Even the rock groups. I used to go to Mitch Ryder and Detroit Wheels. I used to go to the rehearsals when I was probably like 15 to 16.
Wow.
Would sneak in and see them. And you had the MC5. I mean, you had black and white groups.
Yes. A lot of people ain't hit to the MC5s. Yeah.
A lot of people. Yeah. MC5, man, so I actually did a show with that guy, the guitarist, probably about 7 years ago. And so long story short, man, so Detroit to me was Music City. And then influences started changing. Well, okay, this is how I got in Chairman Board. All right, so I was in a local band in Detroit, and one of the lead singers, Danny Woods, he came into this club I was performing in with the group I was with, and he said, "Look, I see something in you." He said, "I want you to come and audition for the chairman of the board." And I'm saying, "Nah, man, you gotta be kidding me." Because see, the reason I'm saying that, I used to watch the group perform outside Detroit. They were like my favorite band, favorite group.
Right.
And I got the chance to see them in concert and never dreamed. Now I'm getting an audition with them.
Right.
So when I go audition, I walk in. Here's my other heroes there. I see Eddie Hazel.
Yeah.
I see Billy Bass.
Yep.
I see Tiki Fullwood.
Yep.
Bernie Worrell.
Yep. The
Ron Rakowski.
Yep.
Now I'm saying, ain't no way I'm getting through this, because there's my heroes there.
Yeah, and man.
They had all the experience because I didn't have any. I'm just playing locally around Detroit. And I don't know what happened, but I made it.
Hey, tell them for those that don't know, who was the backup band? Funkadelic, wasn't it?
Funkadelic was the backup band for chairman of the board, and everywhere we went, there was fire.
Yo, I got to tell you, I tell a lot of people that story because they don't know the research, they don't know the history, and when people find that out, like you said, they didn't understand how powerful, even as a kid, I had no knowledge of this, but I can imagine, okay, New York, but Detroit had the folks, you know what I'm saying? Detroit had that stuff. New York had its thing and this, but from what my history tells me, Detroit was the bomb.
It was, man. It was, man. And it was a great learning experience for me. It was short-lived because I think they got burnt out, because they come from the funk, the rock,
Yeah.
And then we're doing this pop stuff.
Yeah.
But it was pop with a funk edge to it. Yeah. I mean, songs like Finders Keepers.
Yeah.
Finders Keepers, Bernie Worrell doing these. Listen, it was so tough. We did a show with the Barcades in Miami.
Uh-huh.
And I swear to God, the plug was pulled about 5 or 6 times during our performance.
Wow.
And we know it came from them.
Yo, smoking it. And see, I think too at that time they was probably getting ready to go do the Westbound stuff and really get knee deep. I guess once George put that,
they had already experienced that.
Okay,
already experienced that.
Okay,
but there was a lapse. They were having problems with George.
Right. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, man, it was just so much fire.
Yeah.
In performances. You had the best rhythm section to me that ever was.
Yeah.
They were like the Beatles to us.
Yeah.
And I got a chance. Bernie was my roommate on the road.
Right.
And it was like unbelievable, the knowledge he was at night when we finally wind down, which is probably 5 o'clock in the morning. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
They hotel you up all night. But I will say this. Those guys respected what we did. I mean, General Johnson, Danny Woods, and myself. They respected what we did, what we brought to the table, and it was it was a great marriage.
Yeah,
but the marriage didn't last long. Right.
Hey, sometimes they short, sometimes they long, man.
But it was great while it happened. So yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't know the Funkadelics was the rhythm section out on the road, and we killed everywhere we went.
So that's tight, man. Here we are hanging out with the chairman of the board, Mr. Ken Knox, man, on Funk Music with Zack on IBM.TV. Let me tell you, brother, I couldn't sleep last night. I was so anxious, right? Because I just wanted to start this interview and hang out with you and, kick it, man, and talk about things and have you just drop tons of knowledge on all my fans out there around the world. But before we go any further, I just want to say hello. People will be chiming in now and then. So, you may see me wave or something like that, Ken. But Dr. Anthony's tuning in. I know I got a lot of people up in DC and New York. Thank you for hanging out with us on the show today. We're hanging out with Mr. Ken Knox, chairman of the board. And we were talking yesterday, when we were chatting a little bit, and we were talking, you came right out of high school, man. So what was that like? Like, you're hanging out with your friends one day and you've been in bands anyway, the high school bands, but then all of a sudden they're like, damn, Ken is gone. You know what I'm saying? How did that first hit you?
Again, it was like, and all that was great, but I did the wrong thing. See, before chairman of the board, I was on the road with like the Detroit Emeralds.
Okay.
And people like that.
Right.
And as a musician, sax.
Okay.
Yeah. So I cut my teeth on that. But when it was time to go to school, man, it was hard for me to get up and go catch that bus.
Been there.
And I regret that. I regret that to the day because I didn't finish.
Yeah.
But the School of Hard Knocks, I graduated from that.
yo, you're the chairman of the board. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey.
And I have to thank General Johnson and Danny Woods for that, because they were there since 1970. And again, Danny saw something to me, and General saw something to me. And when, you know, they're no longer with us. General died in fact, it'll be.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute. I was going to mention that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, you're good. Go ahead.
But the thing is, they saw something to me, and it was a dream come true for me. Like I said, coming out of high school, and my first gig after that audition was in Detroit.
Oh, you know? Wow.
And I'm saying all these acts on the show, and during that show in Detroit at 8 o'clock, I had never been on the plane. So that night, we left. After the show in Detroit, we flew to New York.
Right.
To the show at 11.
Yeah.
Now I haven't been on no plane, but it was a Learjet, a private Learjet. I look across from me, there go Billy. I look across from me, there go Tiki. You know, and I'm like, wow, is this really happening? So
yeah.
So I mean, man, again, it was kind of hard for me to get up and go to school, but see, I'm going to get my GED.
Good for you. And you know, a lot of people are proud of that. Good for you.
Man, and it's way overdue. In fact, one of my bandmates now, he just told me 2 days ago, he said, Ken, I'll help you.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yo, man, that's a beautiful story, man. And again, here we are with Mr. Ken Knox, chairman of the board, you know, pro school artist, musician, entrepreneur, you know, man about town, celebrity, you know, A-lister for sure, people that I look up to and grew up to. And yeah. I told you the little quick story, and we're going to get into Mr. General Johnson in a minute. I know October 13th is an important day, but I just got to tell the story because I told you, and I'll make it really short.
Yeah, go ahead.
I first heard that song at Coney Island when I was hanging out with my older cousins, and there was this ride, the Tilt-A-Whirl, and they used to play music. And anybody that's from Brooklyn or Coney Island, New York, you know the ride I'm talking about in the 60s because everybody knows it. It was the only ride that had that Motown sound. The guy was playing 45s every time the ride started. He had these huge speakers, right? And you can hear that music going around, Cannonball Adderley, and like you said, Detroit Emeralds, and you know, chairman of the board. And I heard that song, bro. I started crying.
Wow.
And my cousins asked me what was the matter because they knew I was an emotional kid anyway, you know, and I had lost my mom when I was 7. So, you know, I had been through a lot. But music was my sanctity. Songs, this is how I knew I was kind of maybe supposed to do something with music somehow because it used to affect me different than my friends. You know what I mean? You know, I used to get emotional, and I grew up dad, Baptist minister, gospel, whatever, you know. So emotion was a thing for me. And I heard this song and I said, no, I'm not upset. It makes me feel happy, you know. And I just wanted to share that with you, man. That made me feel really happy as a kid. And I'll never forget that. I don't remember the details, but I remember that. You know,
that affected that stuck with you through life.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And look how it came full circle.
Yeah.
So, Mr. General Johnson, he was the gentleman that started the group.
The group was he was the first recruit.
Okay.
The group was started by Holland Dozier Holland.
Okay, got it.
Who wrote all the stuff for Four Top, Supremes, Motown stuff. So they left Motown and started their own label called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So General was the first recruit because of General's with the group. Like when he was a teenager, a group called the Showman out of Virginia, and they had records.
Right.
But it was something about General's voice that they liked.
Right.
And so they formed a group around General. So there was General, then came Danny, and the Canadian Harrison Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah, now that's how the Canadian part comes in. And I can't think the other guy's name because in the beginning it was 4 guys.
Right. Okay.
And So, see, General had a unique tone to his voice, and that's probably how it touched you, you know, because I remember him telling me when he was recording that song, they had him sing it to his highest limit that he can reach.
Right.
And by Holland Dozier and Holland being the greatest producers that they were able to get that shrillness or that to catch your eardrums, you know. I guess orgasm, you know, and it was great on record, and everywhere you read or write, it says his emotional vocals is what sold that record, just like it sold you as a kid.
Oh my God, was it just something about it, man?
Yeah, you know, and also the arrangement and things of that nature. Everybody's recorded it from. It's a British girl did it maybe in the 80s. She had I think she went platinum on it. But to get to General right quick, he was a very prolific songwriter.
Okay.
He won a Grammy for Patches. Remember the song Patches?
Patches. Yeah. I didn't know he wrote that. Wow. He wrote Patches?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Patches. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Patches.
That's deep.
Oh yeah. I mean that he was deep. You know,
now Patches made me cry too, just so you know. But
everybody, man.
Everybody. Woo, my God.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. See, Ron Bukowski, when we would do Patches live, the spotlight would shoot down on Ron Bukowski playing acoustic guitar.
Right.
It was nice.
Right.
You know,
I can imagine. Yo, Ron is a beast. Original Funkadelic guitars back there too with, you know, Taj and them. Yeah, and Eddie. Yeah.
So when we would start Patches, man, the pin light would shoot down on that board, doing that acoustic guitar thing, and it was magic. But so Jim also, you know, like I say, he won a Grammy for that. He wrote for the Honeycomb, which had Monads.
Now tell the story. You got. This is so good because we talk. This is so good.
I think we have a connection with that because Taylor Dane once recorded it as well.
Yeah.
And right now I have a show on, or we have a show like your show. If I can mention it, can I mention my show?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're going to plug all your stuff, man. And for sure, you know, I want to come on and rap with you, too, one day. Okay. But, yeah, man, we're going to plug all your stuff. Mark's going to run it on the thread. Yeah, man, go for it. Okay.
Well, so we have a show called That's My Story. And one of my co-hosts is Shelley Clark White.
Right.
Which is the wife of Verdine White of Earth and Fire.
Yes.
Yeah. And so she used to be with the Honeycomb.
Right.
Yeah. So you know, we have history because she comes from the same Invictus camp. But that song one is, man, is even Mary they used the track.
They did, and people thought it was new, which pissed me off.
Yes. So General and Greg Perry wrote the song together, and actually, see, Greg's wife was Edna Wright. She just died a couple years. She was with the Honeycomb. She died a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. So, I mean, there's one hell of a connection, you know, that we all connected with this thing, and those guys are some great writers. And
oh God, yes. Oh man.
You know, and General and Greg wrote for Free the Pain. They wrote for us, Chairman of the Board. They wrote for 100 Proof, Aged and Soul. The song they had out was Somebody Been Sleeping in My Bed. Y'all check it out. Yeah. That's a New York jam, man. Somebody Been Sleeping in My Bed by the 100 Proof.
Yeah. So, you know, all the things that you're talking about, it's the foundation. It's the foundation of built that we were able to kind of, you know, piggyback off of all of that great music, all of those great songs and writers and the blood, sweat, and tears of music, and not to mention the group, but the blood, sweat, and tears of what you guys did and what you guys laid down. And again, here we are with, royalty right now on our show, Funk Music with Zack. This man deserves everything and then some. Mr. Ken Knox, he is royalty. He is the chairman. Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. Let me tell you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And that's just that. We know, those of us that know from the pro school, we know. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Hey, it's fact.
Everybody, I'm everyday people. You can meet me in
the
the street.
Yeah, it's fact. It's just fact, man.
Mark knows, I'm everyday people. Now you know.
Oh, yeah. I know that. And that's why I'm grateful, man. I just always pay homage, and where it's due, because, again, I grew up listening, to all of that music, not just what you guys were doing. And the thing is, I live down here in North Carolina now. I've only been down here for 7 years. So I didn't realize, and we're going to segue into this and get back to the music in a minute. October 13th is the anniversary of General Johnson's passing, correct?
Correct.
And how many years ago was that?
It was 2010.
2010. So it's been 10 years. Okay. So it's like a thing. Yeah. Are you guys planning on doing something kind of big, even though it may be virtual, for that 10-year thing?
We're going to do something on our show.
Okay.
This Thursday, we have Russell Tompkins from the Stylistics, and we're gonna, before we bring him on, we're gonna do. See, we did the same thing for Edna a couple weeks ago. We did a little thing for her passing. So we're gonna do something.
Let me know. I'll be watching, man.
Okay, and I'm sure there'll be something online of his anniversary. I'm gonna put something on my personal page about John, because him and I worked together in the studio.
Right.
We were like co-producers on a lot of the stuff that we did. As we left Detroit, came south.
Right. Yeah.
But, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say that if now that we're friends on Facebook, I'll make sure I can tag and double tag and post a lot of that stuff too, because people really need to hear. A lot of the younger folks out there, again, Mr. Ken Knox, chairman of the board, a lot of young folks out there need to know how they got to where they are, because you guys did what you did. You ladies and gentlemen back, coming up, you gave us something to look forward to. You mentioned something earlier about the riots in 1968. And how, you were able to get an instrument, and music for us back then, it was our way of not being involved in the racial turmoil, because we were old enough to know right from wrong. I was 10 when King got shot, but we were too young to actually physically be in the street, some of us, because our moms and dads really wasn't going to roll with that. Now, my father was a member of the NAACP, so I seen the march. I seen things happen that shouldn't have happened to him. I've seen it. Yes, he did his thing. But I'm saying that to say that if you guys hadn't made all that music, we wouldn't be where we are today, because we had that. We didn't have to go to the street unless you wanted to, and those were some tumultuous times. And we're in the same thing today, unfortunately. And we keep it light on my show. But, maybe through this next crop of music and people like yourself doing what you continue to do, we can overcome it again, is what I'm trying to say. Get over that hump. As P-Funk would say, got to get over the hump. So here we are. You made it into the North Carolina Hall of Fame, which is phenomenal. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, man. Just like yourself being from New York, and the three of us, General Danny and myself, came out of Detroit. We feel like we were the adopted sons of the Carolinas to be awarded an award like that. North Carolina Musical. Man, there's so much history, musical history out of the Carolinas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you cannot turn on a television or radio that you don't hear a Carolina artist.
That's right.
But we were inducted in 1999. We won.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. 1999. And I can't remember who was. Oh, I can't remember who was in that group, but I'm glad we were. So you know, I feel like we were the adopted sons because we've done a lot. We meant a lot to the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Through music. Through music. And I think I said this on Mark's show. A journalist once wrote, "What does Martin Luther King and the chairman of the board have in common? They bring the races together."
That's right. Exactly right.
So, so that's an honor for us to be in the Hall of Fame. And actually, I sit on the board of directors for the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So
that's what's up, man. Look at that, chairman of the board. See.
So, you know, I'm honored for that, and it's just so much talent, man. I didn't realize was here. You know, growing up in Detroit, and I'm hearing all this music, and even the current crop, like the Anthony Hamiltons.
He's a cool cat. I know him. Yeah.
Yes, and I know you know Kelly Pickler and Ninth Wonder.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we just inducted Ninth, I think, a couple years ago, and last year, believe it or not, we did Big Daddy Kane.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know he was from here. Wow, I didn't know that.
No, but see, that was one of the criteria. You have to have an established musical career nationally, and I think he's been here 10 years. And I think it's one of the criteria. And so, we inducted him last year. In fact, he went in the same time as Ninth.
Okay. That's awesome, man. A lot of people don't know Maceo, George Clinton.
I gotta tell you a quick story about Maceo.
Go for it.
All right. So I may have said this on Mark's show, but you never know who you see. All right, let me start this way. Maceo is my idol, right? He's my idol. You know, we did a show with James Brown in Miami back in the and Funkadelics, the rhythm section. So all day long on Black radio, they kept saying, "Do not go to the James Brown chairman of the board show. Boycott it." So we're hearing this,
right?
And so the night that we're there, instead of it being a 20,000 seater, there was probably 1,500 people in, because the voice of the Black radio, you understand it. You know, those people did not show up because the fact that James Brown hugged Nixon.
Yeah.
So which
was stupid. Yeah, not for him, but for people to think that way.
Right. Exactly. So they so Black radio got on, told them boycott the show. So they did. Now I'm gonna see my idol, Maceo. So I see Maceo and we did a sound check and we come off and I see him and I went to talk to him. He went another way.
Right.
I said, well, maybe he didn't see me. So I saw him again, and I swear to God, we never connected. He went somewhere else, and I said, I'm young,
right?
And this is my idol. I said, I got to meet this man. This is the reason I'm here. And so we never connected that night. So about 6 years ago, I got a call from the Hall of Fame, and they said, "How would you like to induct Maceo Parker into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame?"
Wow.
Absolutely. I got him. Yes, I got him. So I told that story, that night that I presented his award, and he leaned over to me and told me, "I remember that."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a down-to-earth brother, man. He's down
I know. But
years ago.
I beat him to it.
Yes. Which is funny. Yeah,
I beat him to it. But we talk about it, we laugh about it. I love Maceo, man. You know.
Yeah, he's a down to earth brother. I got a chance to vibe with him a few times. You know,
Nice.
It's just such a small world. Like I said, you know, in the beginning, it's a big global musical community. You know, but when it gets down to it, there's always a connection to hang out and meet. Again, here we are with Music Royalty, Mr. Ken Knox, chairman of the board. Loving it. So that beach music thing, and I did a lot of corporate stuff, so we used to do a lot of that thing, right? When it kind of switched over and you guys were doing your shows, and you realized that was going to be the next thing, especially in the warmer places where people could actually have outdoor events 9, 10, 11 years around, right? Tell me how you transitioned, because with the way radio changed, MTV to me was the worst thing to happen to music. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love every video I've ever seen because somebody is making money, but it doesn't mean I agree with it, but I understand the business side of it. But when that happened, you know, I was like, people can't really see music like that. They need to hear it first, you know? And people would say to me personally, hey, you know, there's a new video out. And I was like, well, I'm going to go listen to the album first before I even watch what they're doing, because that's not how I connect with it, even though I get it. I get the videography of it. When that beach music thing first hit, and it hit hard, you know, because I used to come to Virginia and, you know, we used to be doing corporate stuff, whatever. And, you know, I would see this thing, this like wave, massive, thousands of people doing this thing, man. How did you guys transition into that and jump right into it, hitting the ground running? Because y'all did.
Yeah, we did. And that was through General, because again, the group he was with back in the day in the 60s, they were known as a beach music artist. Now when he came to us about I think we're gonna start going to the Carolinas because they have this thing called beach music. I'm saying, what? Beach Boys, Jan and Dean? He said, no. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Just like you know, from the north, you think that. So he said, no, it's basically rhythm and blues. Yeah. He said that the problem is the only way the white kids can hear it, they have to go to the beach, away from their parents. Yeah. And they hear it on the jukeboxes. Yeah. Because it was still the devil's music when they went back home. So that's the term came beach music from that. The only time you can listen to it was at the beach.
Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So the other thing was we used to play a college club in Greenville, North Carolina, called The Attic. And The Attic would have acts such as Pointer Sisters, Hootie and the Blowfish when they were just starting, us. They would put national acts in there. So we started building our following from the college club. And then all of a sudden, when people these cities start deciding to give concerts to the public, we were like at the top of the list for these shows. And matter of fact, I tell you who did it. Coors did a survey with all the colleges. And they said, who are the top 5 acts that you go to see?
Right.
We were number 1.
Right. Look at that. See?
Yeah. We were number
should
1.
be.
We worked hard at it.
Yep.
You know, we worked hard because it's still competition. I don't care. You know, we had national records, been around the world, but when we came to this market, we didn't get any respect because the white bands got all the respect. So now we say, okay, y'all want to play that? Let's play the record game. So then we start cutting records. We knew we had them then because these bands didn't know nothing about recording and
it wasn't tight.
Yeah. So we started playing the record game and doing recordings, and we just made our way up to the top. And that's what I'm doing now. You know, I'm trying to keep our legacy going.
You are.
Yeah, for myself, General and Danny, because I'm in this game 47 years.
God
And
bless you, man.
thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Zach. So, that's, people from the outside say, man, what is this? What are y'all? I see what y'all doing down there. Why is it so popular? And so until they come to see a show of ours, then they understand. Yeah. And I like the fact that, like the journalist said, Martin Luther King Chairman Award bring the races together, because at our concerts you do see togetherness because of the common denominator, music.
Yep, that's right.
And giving the people what they want,
Yep.
So,
you made a couple of good points in that statement, and thank you again. Here we are with Mr. Ken Knox, chairman of the board, Funk Music with Zach. Don't forget, check out our sponsors. Please support IBM.TV. So what basically we have now, because the pivot of the music game, and we're going to get into that in a second. But please let me know when you got to run. I don't want to hold you too long. But the pivot of the music game, the live thing, and this is what, and I'll tell you I'll call you privately and talk about my stuff, what I've dealt with down here. But because you guys are a national, global commodity, like you're a global freaking commodity, okay? Mm-hmm. When people hear chairman of the board, they automatically, it's like a brand. It's like Nike, Michael Jordan,
Right?
It's a brand, right? Yeah. It bothered me to understand when I first came here why this thing didn't just spread all over. Like in New York, we didn't know. I thought like you, the Beach Boys. I was like, all right, cool. And they said, no, play it like this. And when I was doing a lot of, bands down here, and we would play songs. And I would see this, I would get this set list, right? And it would be like beach music, 100 songs. And I'm like, what? 100 songs. I was like, I got to learn 100 songs in like a week. I was like, all right, I'll behold it, But when I did the gigs and I saw how it made people smile, I saw black, white, gay, straight together. I felt, and maybe I'm crazy, but you could tell me, the combination of the water, the beach, the sand, the people, the tropical atmosphere with that music, I felt like that was God's way of saying, that's what it is.
Wow. Hey.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt, man. And then I understood it, because you can't really delve into, and as a musician, an artist, or whatever, singer, performer, until you understand something, you can't embrace it fully. Now, me being a funkadelic, I'm like, I'm like, no, you can't do none of that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in here, but it better be worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the culture down here.
Yeah,
that's how we've been able to sustain for so many years.
Yes, yes.
Is and to answer your question, and it's something you said too. It seems to only stay in this region. It doesn't go, and you know why? Because these other bands record inferior music.
Yeah.
It's inferior. I mean, they ain't nothing wrong with doing it in your home studio, but you have to be able to see. You understand that you're a musician. They're musicians too, but they didn't come up like we did.
Yeah.
And so it's the music was inferior, so it stayed down. Stayed in this area. Now, like being a brand, we still go to the UK. I go to UK. Shit. Oh, damn, I forgot.
No, you good, man. It's all good. We cable. We live, man. It's all good. Don't sweat that.
We go to UK every year, and they have a different brand. They call it Northern Soul.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. When you're giving quality, it shows. But that's the only reason the beach music has not taken it. They always say, we're gonna take this music national. No, you can't, because the music you're putting out Nobody wants to hear that stuff outside of the Carolinas.
Exactly.
But we've been fortunate because we've been in the game so long and we understand it.
And your brand, like I said, when you have that brand, this is what I try. And I used to teach music at the School of Rock for a minute. I've had, some opportunities to really get into some young kids' minds about the game. Right. And believe me, I'm just a fledgling. I'm still learning, and I tried to explain to them there's a difference between what some people call old school, but what we call pro school.
Yes.
Because the pro school, I used to tell my kids, and young kids, and I have two daughters, 12 and 16. So I'm in the wheelhouse. Trust me when I tell you. I'm in the wheelhouse. And my daughters, they know Mahalia Jackson, and they know about all that. So believe me, they know who Louis Armstrong played with. They know.
Louis. Who's that right there?
Yo, that's what's up. My man Lewis,
That's right.
I was watching something the other day, and I watch all these old things, man, and on PBS, and they said when he put his head down and was doing that, I watched him. I was like, Lewis is going into all kinds of gears, man. But getting back to what I was saying, right? You blew my mind. I used to tell these kids the Beatles recorded on 4 tracks, but you still listening to their music today. Hendrix, always sang out of key, but his voice wouldn't have fit anything else. He was singing Bob Dylan songs half the time, but every guitar player who they wanted to be, Hendrix. You know what I'm saying? Groups like you guys coming up, everybody knew James Jamerson. Everybody knew Motown. Everybody knew who you guys were. Everybody knew who George Clinton was. Everybody knew who, Frida Payne and, all that music. We lost another one last week, the great Linda Ronstadt,
Right.
the one who passed away,
Linda Ronstadt.
I think it was her. Who's the lady that made the woman?
Oh, Helen Reddy.
Helen Reddy, not Linda Ronstadt. Helen Reddy, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Linda Ronstadt, and forgive me, Linda Ronstadt fans. Helen Reddy, So, these people, those songs that they wrote and penned, and there's so many to name, they actually have substance. And that's what I used to tell my kids all the time. Go back to that. I used to force them. That was their homework. Go back to that. Listen to that. Next week in your lesson, I'm going to see what you learn, because that's the pro school. And to your audience out there, I love all the new music. I support it all. But y'all know what I'm talking about when I say the pro school. Go back and get some of that, support.
Right, that's great, man. That's
what it is, man. And you guys tour around the world and you travel and you've done all this great stuff. Now that we've had to pivot, and here we are with Ken Knox, chairman of the board, how do you see the industry? Because I was talking to, some people in different camps, musicians, about where we are now. What do you guys have planned for 2021?
Well, we're hoping that, I know every musician is hoping that we're able to get back out and perform and be able to, reach the people, because it's a different world. Like you said, we have to do things differently. We have new music coming. We're working with a producer out of the UK, because they have loved Chairman of the Board since the 70s. And they're still staying with what I do. So I've got a couple of producers, UK producers, doing some stuff that we haven't been able to go to a studio yet, because I ain't singing on no mics, and they ain't been, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to wait till they get that stuff together. But you're right, music has really, the whole industry has changed. Virtual concert, matter of fact, we will probably end up doing a couple of those before the year's out. Some virtual concerts. People have come to us and want to do it, and but the game has changed, man. I'm looking at, me and my wife was riding yesterday, and we heard an old Bruno Mars tune. She said, if Bruno don't come out with something, people can forget about him.
Yeah. It's funny. This is where we are now. But thank God, you can do what you do on your show. And, I can invite you on shows that, things that we do here at IBM. And we can kind of let people know, because that's why I have as many pro artists as I can on, because I do want to uplift and encourage. I do want people to feel that, hey, just because we're kind of going through this thing in life doesn't mean that the music stops. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop. We all keep writing. We all keep, striving and just touching. And see, a live act such as yours, besides the records, needs to have a live audience and touch people, And I think that's something, as much as I love virtual and technology, Lord knows we couldn't even do this without technology. That's so right. I embrace technology. Thank you. But at the same time, I know what it is. And maybe you feel the same way. You could tell me, to not be able to touch that person, in the audience physically, slap their hands and, get in their face. Man, how you feel about that?
Something I haven't gotten used to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I'm just waiting, man. I'm waiting till I'm sure it's gonna be a long wait.
Yeah.
Because actually, I've heard in the industry that they're saying it won't happen till the end of 2021.
That's kind of like what we're hearing. I've been touching base with a lot of the funk heads, and people are doing little things here or there. But until we can't really hit the football field until we got some kind of plan as a country, as human beings first, then we can get back to our respective jobs. As far as being artists and musicians, because I would rather stay safe, keep my audience and fans safe. I would always err on the side of caution, but then again, that's only me. I heard this thing, and a lot of people, especially, I don't know, you could tell me, country music artists, they're buying drive-in theater time. I heard that, especially down here in Midwest, where they have drive-ins. Up north, they don't have them so much anymore. And I heard that one way.
Where are you located?
I'm in Durham, North Carolina.
Right. So, I had this conversation with it's a lady who runs the National R&B Music Society a couple of days ago, and she was saying the same thing. A lot of the artists are trying to get these drive-ins. So I don't know any in Charlotte, but outside of Charlotte, there's some maybe 15, 20 miles from Charlotte, and they're doing the country artists.
Yes, country. They bought all of that. They monopolized it.
Yep. And honestly, there's one beach music radio station who does one in Goldsboro, North Carolina. They're doing with the beach bands.
Yeah.
But hey, that's a start.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad you feel that way, because we have to keep going. Boosie Collins is doing some stuff, and he's kind of letting people know, hey, stay on the one, and P-Funk, and all the artists that I know that I work with or whatever, and a lot of my band members are dropping solo projects, and they've been doing this for years, and we're all just constantly trying, like you said, it's a start. And I think that thank God we have music like what you guys are making and have made to listen to, because that's what gets through, bro. I gotta tell you, man. I had one of my producers backstage. He was dying to ask you a question. Besides Mark, his another gentleman, Mr. Bill Tresvant, and he's our White House correspondent at IBM. Bill, you hanging out with us? Because I know he wanted to come on, and I think he was texting me to ask you something. I'm not really sure if he's there or not. He might be watching. But anyway, man, here we are. Ken, an hour just flies by, but we got some private to talk about, because I got to understand, that EWF thing, and I'd love to be a guest on your show, because, again, listening to what you guys did and do and have done and are still doing, it's completed my circle of music. I have different pockets, and believe me, what you guys do in one of those pockets.
You have to.
You're in one of those pockets, man. You're in one of my pockets.
Well, we appreciate that. So, like I told Mark, the next time I like to get the other two guys with you. Your show and on Mark's show. and so you can get their take on how they feel to be with me.
You will make that happen. We're gonna make that happen soon.
Yeah.
You let me know.
Because I had to recruit 2 other guys. When General died and then Danny died, and they're sharp guys, and let's make that happen on your show and Mark's to bring the other 2 chairmen.
And what's the name of your show? It comes on Thursdays. Where can people find it?
It's called That's My Story. And it's on Chairman of the Board's Facebook page, and it's on YouTube. In fact, we just had Ramsey Lewis last Thursday.
Okay.
Great show. And we had Verdine on.
Yeah.
We had him on. We've had Ray Parker Jr. on.
Right.
We've got coming up. We've got the Whispers coming up.
Yeah, I love the boys. I just saw them down here last year.
Yeah. We've had Melba Moore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a music show, and I'll send you a link. Did I already send you one?
No, but send it to me, because I'll just always tag, post, and help, just promote and do all that good stuff. It's a Thursday, and this Thursday, you're going to be, paying homage to the General Johnson, right? Because you mentioned, you're going to do something on your show, and that's what this whole thing is about: spreading love and keeping the love going. And you've been an amazing guest. I really, really appreciate it. Sometimes they hang out and do a round table. You're welcome. To hang out with us. Feel free. Everything that you've done and you are doing is a blessing to those people like me that are really just part of this fraternity. I'm honored, bro. I'm honored.
No, man.
I'm honored.
I'm honored because you understand. Mark understands. See, there's still a lot of people like the 2 of you that's out there that don't get a chance. And you're right. Keep funk alive.
Gotta keep. See, as I'm saying, yeah. I always promote, Donnie Sneed and them.
All right. So listen, man, I appreciate that, but I appreciate coming on your show.
Yo, man, thank you.
And again, shout out to Mark Lee for making this happen.
Yo, man, no doubt. And I'll be calling you this week.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call this week, Ken.
Say it again.
I said I'll give you a call this week during the week. All right, bro. Peace and blessings, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, just wanted to pop in real quick, say hello to Ken and everything. That was a great interview that you did, Zach, and everything. Just really quickly, I'm waiting for some of our producers to come in and join us, but I did want to give Ken a shout out for something that he did earlier, and that was the thing that he did. There was a public service announcement about voting. So I would love that if you would talk about that public service announcement you did, because voting is very important, and I know that you did that public service announcement. So I'd love if you would talk about a little bit about the importance of voting and why you did that announcement.
All right. So as we all know, it's very important. And Chairman of the Board, EU, and I know, Zach, you know this in Living Color.
Yes.
You know these bands?
Yes.
Mark, you know them too, right? So we're all on the campaign to get the word out to vote.
Got it.
And in November, in fact, November 3rd, we're all doing concerts that you can find from our Facebook pages or different stuff. But Mark, yeah, the importance of because we need change.
Oh yeah, we do.
No doubt, we definitely need change. And by the way, we've been joined by one of the main people here that is definitely one of the founders of this network that we're part of, IBM.TV. But Kimberly, I can also tell you, is a big fan of beach music and the chairman of the board. When I mentioned that you were on that show last time, she told me how much she enjoyed it. And when I told her that you were coming on Zach's show, she was just like blown away. And she was definitely a fan of yours. So I'll let Kimberly talk about how much she enjoyed it.
Blushing. You got it, Ken.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
God, Ken, I'm so honored. And all my friends from high school would just be screaming right now because I grew up with you. I mean, we're probably the same age. But I mean, I grew up with you playing our music. I remember seeing your name on boards at places, playing at venues when I was growing up. And, what an honor. I mean, to you and everything.
The honor to me is the three of you.
Thanks.
And it really is, because a lot of times people forget about, it's like, what have you done lately?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and your platform allows people like myself and other artists and business people or whatever. You give them a platform to speak, and to be seen and heard. And so I'm honored for this show, IBM.TV, Mark Lee and Zack Roberson. Is it Roberson or Robertson?
Roberson, but either way is good.
Okay, so I'm honored to that. And where did you grow up at, Professor?
You can just call me Kim. I'm playing around with my name. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you were there. I know you were there. Yeah. You played at dances that I went to. I mean, you made life fun. Your music is positive. It's uplifting.
Yep.
Your feet want to dance.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was when we first came, and Zack and I was speaking about this. When we first came to the Carolinas, we knew that we had work to do, because they were already seeing the other side, and we were outsiders coming into, this thing down here in the Carolinas. And we see, General was the genius at that. He said, what we need to do is write about the culture. So that's why you have Carolina Girls, I'd Rather Be in Carolina, Down at the Beach Club, those things. Carolina Girls.
Yeah, I mean, I hum that song to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm truly, my family is truly from Texas, but we moved here as well.
Okay.
I didn't feel the warm welcome when we came from Texas, right? It was a strange time. It was the 70s. And it was just a lot of changes going on. But your music united people. You made us want to dance. You made us want to hum all day long. So yeah, what a brilliant idea! Write about the culture you're in, right?
Yeah, because we come from the Motown,
Right.
and like I was telling Zack, I'm thinking Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, and anybody from the North or Texas, whatever. You think beach music that's what it is, but it's basically rhythm and blues music, and it's the way you present it. And General always had a saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that's another way we have sustained. And again, we are honored to be in the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, South Carolina Music Hall of Fame. And I mean, we feel like we've made strides for this band in this Carolina. What's that noise?
That was clapping.
Oh,
Kim's got a new toy. One of our other founders has found this new toy, so Kim's enjoying our new toy with the clapping machine and everything else.
okay. Cool.
I had to clap for you. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but here's the thing. How often do you get to feel that warm love, right? Right now, we're not getting that warm love of the clap of the audience. And so Nick and I, we've been playing with some new toys to get that clapping going again. Feel that heart. Because, we got to get creative, just like you did, right? Got to get creative. You got to engage people. And that's what you did. And you're still doing it. And let's bring more of this music on. We've been working on a music marathon day. Maybe you'll help us.
Oh, wow.
And join us. Because what we're wanting to do is share with the world and bring awareness that, the musicians, the artists, there are other artists too, are suffering right now. And it's not, and I want to share with you, it's not just suffering from financial monetization, which is hurting you, but it's suffering from the love.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, that's why we have a show like you guys, We do it every Thursday at 6 o'clock, and we bring on artists like myself who need that audience too. You know, we've had producers on that make the records, but we need this, and so this has helped me mentally. This is helping me with our show, and being on with you guys. This helps me because and then mental. I think depression can set in easily.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yep.
We have shows. We've been so fortunate and blessed here at IBM TV. Experts from all over the world have been joining us for panel talks. Doctors from all over the world, doctors from Harvard, Yale, from India, an infectious disease, world famous infectious disease doctor who's on TV all the time comes and talks to us because we reach that area that networks don't reach, right? Mm-hmm. We're reaching worldwide, but what's interesting is having this global talk with everyone, sharing our information. What are you doing? Wow, I didn't think of that. Is that working? And you would think they were doing that, but they're not. They're all worried about money and making a vaccine, but they're not talking about the real solutions, the real human solutions. And the biggest concern when the pandemic hit was the mental impact. And we have a doctor from North Carolina who is also, he's a frontline doctor. He's also a DJ on Saturday nights for us because he loves to do. He rocks it. But he works frontline full time. He's also sitting on the health board just to make sure things are done right. But his biggest concern is we're pushing the vaccines too fast. And what we really need is just to unite, bring the treatments in, right? And they've got treatments now that are working. We just don't need mass spread. That's, that's all the doctors say. Don't overwhelm us because there are other diseases too, not just COVID. So if we unite as a team, and that's what we wanted to do here is unite as a team to win this. But mental, we've got 3 shows now, 4, if I count Win, who is a disabled woman who comes on 9. I shouldn't say disabled woman. She has cerebral palsy and she doesn't let it get in her way. So she's got a show on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Then we have a gentleman from Africa called Mind Closet on Friday mornings. And it's talking about issues that people don't want to talk about. And then we have spiritual Saturday, and we have several shows all day long Saturday that are just nothing but reboot and uplift. And people can call it. We're getting texts from people. People can call in. People can beam in, talk to the expert. We share our stories. We share our darkest secrets too, to get people going, right? And what's interesting, Ken, is when I'm done with that show, how good I feel.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like this show. When I am done with this show, we've got people begging to be on this show now. And I know they're going to start coming in, but we've got people asking me why we haven't invited them to this show yet. And this show is like Saturday, I get my reboot, right? Well, get back to praying a little bit. It's not religious. None of it's religious, but just you, right? So get back to praying, reboot. And then today is uplift music, talk about what we need to do, our call for actions, because we call this the producer round. And after Zack's show is the producer round. And we unite together and we talk about what's bothering us and what we can fix. And it's not about complaints.
It's important.
Right.
It's very important.
And you said something really important. Both of you guys did. I didn't mean to jump in, Mark, but I just wanted to say this before I forget, because a lot of people that are type A hype personalities, like all of us here, we're not really used to being in one spot.
No.
So I know, and this is true, and this is nothing against anybody. It's just all people are different. But I know a few people that said, I'm always in the house anyway. And I was like, I don't know how you do it, but you still have something to do. During COVID, some of us that can't be confined, we're more likely to have some type of depression because we're confined. I hate being confined in the house. I had to be safe, and I had surgeries, this and that, but I hate being in one spot. You know, before I got hurt, Mark will tell you I was playing in 3 bands and still trying to work Nappy Head. You know what I mean? And working 2 jobs and driving Uber.
Wow.
You know, yes, my life, I have to be going. And now that I'm stuck the past 2 years because I had surgery, now I'm here again in the house. I'm like, oh, 2020, I'm stuck in the house again. That depression thing is very real. And for anybody out there that's suffering it, believe me, I know, like Kim said, we're here. We got a lot of shows. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Ken. And I'm glad you followed up, Kim, with that because it's important. People need to do that. They're not alone.
For show and share it with the world. We've got we're in 122 countries. We have a global board of advisors that helps us spread all of this out. But we've got shows from Africa. We've got shows from Malaysia. We've got shows from India. I think we're working on shows from China. Believe it or not, China, Korea, because we want to build those bridges, not build the walls, right? We want to build those bridges. But think about some of the things that we can do, right? And instead of keep saying why, let's start saying why not and pursue it, right? And
I get it.
I agree. And maybe we can do a song about this, right? That uniting everyone to be a team and win this because, and I want to share something else with you, Ken. One of my missions, because Charlotte has a tendency of being extreme rich and extreme poverty, which is one of the reasons why I really didn't like it there. Charlotte, Raleigh has, North Carolina in general has that. So one of the goals that we started with was to close the gap between poverty and sustainability. That was a huge mission of ours when we first started the very first TV show. And then we branched out into a network. Now, believe it or not, we're actually suitcasing in real financial literacy classes that's going to teach you how to take that where some people could be, well, I can't save a dime. I'm spending everything I got plus and living on credit cards. We've got people that help sit down and help you rethink that. And you are almost guaranteed that you're going to start putting away something every month, whether it's $100 or $200. We're going to take you from that negative and start putting you into a position where you're sustainable and then positive. And I call it not lowering the bar of the rich. I call it raising the bar of the poverty. So, and that's what we want to do here. But you got to do it by inspiring people and getting them engaged, like music, right? You got to, make it entertaining. You got to make it fun and engaging. And that's what we're doing. Oh, Zach, I got something for you.
I see. I
saw that in the back.
I was going to say,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
my buddy. He's got his soul necklace on today. So he's got his on.
Nice.
But he's my Halloween buddy. So he calls me. So,
great Halloween buddy and everything. I was going to just mention something to Ken and everything at some point, and Kimberly may tell you how to reach her and everything. But I personally, and I think Zach would like it as well, but I know that you've got your show on your YouTube channel and the Chairman of the Board channel. But I think I can say, as being one of the producers here as well, that we would love to invite you to our family also. So, like I said, if you're available to do that, I'm sure that Kim would like that as well. So definitely, if you're able to bring it to us, she'll tell you how to get in touch with us because we're always trying to recruit folks.
What am I hearing?
Oh, just if you want to unite and do some shows and broadcast them through, see how you've got something going anyway. If you just want to broadcast them internationally through us, you're more welcome to.
My team, I would love for you guys to talk to my team. And thanks, Mark, for thinking of that, because I think it would be a great idea if you guys. I'd like to have a meeting if we can.
Wouldn't it be great to be singing Carolina Girl in Africa?
Oh, you know what? You're right. But there was something I was going to ask you. Do you guys have authors on your show?
Oh, please.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you something. Seeing how we're at the producers round. Are we at the producers round?
Yes, we are.
So we are looking at starting a book interviewing show. It will begin. We're balancing it, and we're looking at it starting after the elections, just because we literally can hear this. This is a great success story. March 7th, Ankit and I decided to go ahead and just start a TV show, one show on the network to share with the world what was going on. It's supposed to be 1 hour a day. It went to 4 with all of these subject matter experts beaming in from all over the world. Today, well, 12 weeks ago, we were only 15 TV shows airing. Today, we are 62 TV shows airing, adding new shows a week, and our goal is 100 by the holidays. But the reason I bring this up is that we're like this. So we've got a plan. We want to start the book show after the election.
Okay.
So line it up. If you've got a book that you're publishing.
Well, it's not me. See, my doctor, and I'm not ashamed. I'm fighting cancer. And my doctor has written a book. He's well known here in South Carolina, and he's written some books and things like that. And I think he would be perfect for your show. He spoke on Congress, spoke to Congress. I think it was before the pandemic hit, and I think it'd be great to have him on the show.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you can bring him, we will. We have what we call Medical Fridays, which is a great time to bring doctors in, and they like to meet each other actually. And then we can do Wednesdays where we can open up occasionally if there's a book already out there. We want to kind of get people to know about it. We will do interviews on Wednesday, but absolutely, especially right now, talking about something other than COVID, talking about research of all, because that's some of the other doctors that we have that are beaming in and talking with us and sharing with us all the other problems in the world that we're ignoring right now. Yeah. My prayers to you, and hope that things are going positive. Are you being treated in South Carolina, or do you have other facilities?
South Carolina. In fact, I go tomorrow, and then I'll see the doctor I was speaking to you about, my oncologist. I'll see him on Wednesday. But he's good for me. In fact, me and my wife, we eat at his house every so often. And he's a big fan. He's from India, and so I know he'll be great on your show.
That's amazing, man. And I'm so sorry to hear you're dealing with some things, but prayer, you healed already because you're a warrior. But I just wanted to read one of the comments because I get a lot of comments on Facebook. And they said, Chairman of the board, yes. Haven't heard it in years. How they absorb that music into their soul. And these are people that will comment, and that's why I was looking at my phone, because I had people commenting on the post that they knew you were on. And I want everybody out there to know, we're going to rerun, the show with Ken at some point, on IBM.TV. You can always go there and find things out and look at past shows, because this show is significant for so many reasons. The connection that you and Kim have, the North Carolina connection, the connection that you and I have, the connection that Mark and you have, how, this thing that we're talking about now, touching on certain things in our lives because of COVID. So this is a very important, powerful piece of art going down right now. This particular journey this Sunday afternoon is powerful. I can feel it. I always get goose pimples when I know it's right. Kim will tell you, if I don't get goose pimples, it ain't right. But if I get them goose pimples, I'm telling you, she knows it's
That's
right.
what I love about this is we all get them. We all get them.
That's cool.
I
appreciate it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say I appreciate everything that you guys do. And I will talk to my team, and I'm sure they would love for this to happen. And I would like to have a meeting with all of us on StreamYard. We'll set it up and take it from there.
Absolutely. So every Wednesday, I just want to tell people, every Wednesday you've got a show going on. How can they find you right now until we get you on?
Every Thursday.
Oh,
I'll share it
Thursday.
Thursday at 6 o'clock, and it's on the Chairman, MEN, the chairman of the the chairman of the board Facebook page, and it's on YouTube, the official chairman of the board.
Okay. Well,
at 6 p.m. And like I said, a lot of artists and producers, and we even had. And I'm gonna let you guys go after this. Get your producers thing. We had a gentleman on 2 weeks ago who was an executive for BET. He produced the Soul Train Awards, and Wolf Blitzer is his favorite person. Is his BFF. Yeah, I mean, they had Wolf Blitzer doing the what's it called, the Dougie back then. Yeah, the Dougie. I'll send you guys the link to that show. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes this fun, is connecting all of this information and sharing where all of this is at. I didn't know that you were playing. If I'd known that you've been playing Thursday nights, I'd be there. So
now I'll tell you, let me put it in the chat room what it is, so you know.
And it's on the call as well.
Oh yeah, definitely there.
My email just because I want your autograph.
You're good.
I met you in person. This is what's cool. I met you in person. It's like one of those things of, wow, I get to meet you in person. So this is awesome.
I never seen Jim blush before.
I've never seen that either.
Right. You all blushed up. Look at you.
Right. Well, I mean, you guys have got to understand that I listened to him and danced to his music, and just swayed, and it brought that his music brings people together.
Yeah,
it does.
It's a love story. Their music are love stories, and you just got to live it. There's not a beach place that I haven't gone to in the Carolinas that I haven't heard your music.
Oh yeah.
So
I have one more important story about that.
Okay. Go for it.
So back in March, I received an email from a friend of mine that their daughter had just passed in New York.
Oh, wow.
She had gotten sick. Due to COVID, they couldn't let the people who brought her there, they couldn't let them in the hospital. She's from the Carolinas. And the last thing that she heard, because she didn't make it, her family played her Carolina Girls. That was her favorite song. And the mother played it, and I had promised the mother on Facebook that I would dedicate the rest of, our shows to her daughter. So, and on September 20th, we did a concert in Selma, North Carolina. I didn't know it, but the parents were there. They came up to my merchandise person and said, my daughter loved them. And I didn't know this until the next day. So I tracked the lady down. I sent her a Carolina Diva mask.
Oh.
Sent the husband a Chairman of the Board t-shirt. But her sister or her other daughter says that, no, the mother told me this. And you never know who's watching you. They had been following us for years. And we were her daughter's favorite group. And it touched me because you never know who you touch. This girl lost her life. It wasn't COVID, but because of COVID, she had a brain aneurysm. So, but all the mother could do was play her Carolina Girls because that was her favorite song. So yeah, man, you never know, and I promise them from here on out, that girl is at the top of our list when that song's being played. So
that's deep story.
I'm going to put her on my prayer list because the reason why your story is breaking my heart is my son got stuck in New York when COVID shutdown happened, and I couldn't get him home. And he was there. He was supposed to be up there just for a short-term vacation, kind of maybe establish some business and then come back. No car, no means to get around. He has he's high risk.
Oh wow!
And we couldn't move him. And the depression, he didn't know anyone. His friends are on the other side. So where he had to lock down, he had to get a place. He lost all his money because no money coming in. It was sad, right? But he's fine. He's fine. But what you're sharing with me is every day I worried, what if he gets sick? And I can't get there to help him because it wasn't just COVID I was worried about. It was all the other problems he has, right? Because his doctors were here. So, but we couldn't move him because it was too dangerous. You didn't know how far you could drive in a car, right? It's because of gas stations and stuff. So, so we made the choice of keeping him there. So your story touches me. I as a mother, my heart breaks for her. My heart breaks for her.
Yeah, it broke my heart too, and especially broke my heart knowing that they were there at the concert, and I didn't know, but I did hear that for her other daughter, she FaceTime us playing. FaceTime, yeah. So yeah, we'll get together, guys.
It's good music. You got good music. It's music that you just want to, honestly, if I die, I want that song played at my funeral. I really do. I mean, I do. Please don't take that morbidly, but it's a song that I wouldn't mind being passed with.
It's an honor, every day that I get an email or a Facebook message with people telling me they grew up on us and they love what we do and to continue doing what we're doing. That's worth more than money to me. That fuels me. And I'm not being morbid saying about what I have, because you know what? You can't tell I'm sick, can you?
No, you can't tell that you're sick. You can't
that's what keeps me going. And like I said, I've got good doctors. And I'm doing what they tell me to do. And have a good wife. Just said something.
Family.
I heard that.
She takes care of me.
Hi, Mrs. Knox.
I
heard that.
She said, "Hey."
She ought to just go to show her face and everything and let us see her pretty face and everything.
I won't see your face. She said, "Not today."
Understood. I do understand. Ken, one of the things you said, and I know you got to get ready to jump off very shortly, but before Kim joined us and everything, you and Zack talked about it, and I'd love for you to reiterate the importance of the music to unifying the world, because definitely you talked about that, and I definitely know that your music is all about unity, and that's part of what we try to do here on a regular basis on IBM.TV. So I'd love if you could reiterate once again about the importance of music to unifying the world.
Wow. Honestly, when you're I wouldn't say unified, but it does unify. But our music is what Zack says, feel good music. It feels good. I mean, I love rap. I love the funk thing. But our music makes you feel good and makes you remember what you were doing when this record was out.
That's right.
And it does unify people, and that's what makes the world go round. I mean, you've been hearing it all your life. Music makes the world go round, but it does, and especially now. Again, the fans over the UK, they're in the worse shape than we are. and they're trying to get us back over there. But I'm saying to myself, not until, you know, but until then, keep listening to us. But Mark, I mean, you know, music does unify, and we've been very fortunate to have a fan base and the right music, you know, like Patches. And everybody in the world loves that song, and across the pond they love that song. Give Me Just a Little More Time. They even know about Carolina Girls over there. You know, it's been played over there. Down at the Beach Club. I mean, they look and see what the jocks are playing here, and they incorporate it into their stuff over there. But
you know, I meet a lot of people. I travel about 85% of the time before COVID, and touring, speaking to minorities about how to become entrepreneurs. And I meet people from all over the world. I'm so blessed. But it caught my attention one time that a young man from, I think, Russia, and then another one from another country. And when they met me and they found out I was from Carolina, they started singing Carolina Girl.
Oh, come on.
I'm not kidding you. Young people in their 20s. Wow. Young people in their 20s, and they were not from this country, right? Their language was, and actually there was another guy from Italy, and they were singing it. Yes, they were there. Yeah,
that's so incredible.
So I just wanted to share. I didn't want to forget that. Okay. That touched my heart. I'm like, wow, that song has gone around the world, and it still goes, right?
Well, Zack said global. So I mean, you know, baby. Here's another thing. You know, what happens is there's so many McDonald's commercials using "Give Me Just a Little More Time" around the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that helps a lot too. Hey, but guys, thanks so much. And
thank you, man. I'll be in touch.
All right, Zach.
Take care.
You got my email.
Yep, I got it right. Kim at IBM.TV.
That's it.
Thanks, Mark, for hooking it up. Good to meet you, Kim.
Take care, Ken.
All right. See you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right. See you.
That's like crazy cool. You know, that's like, for me, I'm like, this guy.
I've never seen Kim look this excited as she is looking right now. Like I said, she is blushing. Like,
yeah, she's totally blushing.
And she is definitely still blushing. Still just like excited to meet one of her folks that she admires and all of that. So that is definitely great.
You have no idea the way, you know, I grew up with, that's what we danced with. That's, you know, you fall in love dancing and playing that music at the beach. You know, I'm a beach girl. As much as I can get there, I am there. And those songs are played all day long, everywhere. I mean, he is a legend. Here.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was telling that story, because when I was doing corporate bands, you know, and then sometimes I would have to go from New York to like Virginia, or, you know, I never did North Carolina. I did some stuff here, but not a lot. But I was working with Kim Sazi and Richie Sazi corporate band. But then I was working with Deanna Jones Orchestra, who was from Queens, but was based out of North Carolina, you know, before they moved to Florida a couple of years ago. And they sent me a list, and I kid you not, it was like 100 songs, just all beach music, you know. And I knew chairman of the board. I knew, but I had to rethink about this style and this thing that was like beach music, because when you're not in it, you don't understand it.
Right.
But then when you're in it, and I saw literally hundreds of people at Virginia Beach doing this whole beach thing, and I couldn't believe people bringing blankets, bringing their sitting folding chairs. And I was like, this is a phenomenon thing here. You know, it's like bigger than the music itself. And I started to understand the difference, because coming from New York, unless you live in the South, you don't understand the different culture differences, not bad or good, just the difference. And I started to really understand where the heart, and I'm not talking pop, hip hop, rap, but where the heart of soulful music was down here in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. You know, I played a lot of Virginia Beach, you know, a lot. And we did so many shows. We never did one with them, but we did so many shows where we would open up for, and this is my corporate band, not my funk band, where we would open up for people like Chairman of the Board and watch how their music would affect so many young people. I was like, how are the young people into this? But then it was great. It was awesome. Just brings back so much good stuff.
It brings back good memories for me.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm glad to see that they're still around playing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an inspiration enough in itself. And again, it's a lifelong type music. It's that classic, right? It's not the music that just goes away. And I don't even want to compare them to the Beach Boys, because Chairman of the Board was it. That was our music here in North Carolina. There was no one else as far as I was concerned. We had our rock bands and stuff like that. Jazz is really good here. And you got the Southern blues, right? The Southern, what I call the deep Southern root blues in this area. And I know a couple of those bands as well, but nothing replaces that.
Yeah.
Happy. It's happy, and we need that. And now I'm going to be singing Carolina Girl all day long. So.
I don't know if you heard before, but I told them the story the other day when I was setting the show up. And I said, Ken, man, I was like, in New York, Coney Island was it. If you went to Coney Island, you had a couple of dollars in your pocket. You went with your older cousins, because your parents rarely would take you. You went with your older cousins. And there was a ride called the Tilt-A-Whirl, the Himalayan, and they would play music. And the DJ would have his little 45s. And I remember hearing that song when I was 10 years old. And my cousins asked me, why was I emotional? I started crying. They thought something was wrong. And I said, no. After I got off the ride, I was like, I went to the gym. I was like, what was that song? And he said, oh, that's Give Me Just a Little More Time, Chairman of the Board. And I was like, it brought tears to my eyes. But it was good tears. And I was only 10. I remember distinctly thinking, I got to do that. I got to do that. Yeah.
But that's what inspires us to be who we are.
Yeah.
Connect with other people's music, not just our own.
Yeah.
And everything. I do want to say, I don't know if other producers are going to come today. Just a little bit of, I'm going to send some sympathies to our main producer, Kit.
No doubt.
He's been suffering from being sick. We're praying that he is not with COVID, but he has, suffered a death in the family to COVID. And
love you, Kit.
We love you, Kit. We've got all of this. Don't worry about us. That's what IBM TV is about. We'll just keep the shows going. But I will say it's very difficult when you're missing that family person, right, in your life. That it's very, very hard, but we got it, Kit. We just miss you. And get some rest. Dr. Sagu couldn't have said it any better the other day. Get plenty of sleep right now. This is the time that we need to get a lot of sleep to build our up, right? And not oversleep. You know what I've started, guys?
What?
So I've been putting on a little bit of COVID weight, and I haven't been motivated to work out. So I have this book called 8 Minutes a Day. But anyway, it was written by this bodybuilder whose dad got sick. And, you don't want old people to dive in and start working out like a young person. Right. So it's designed to help you build up slow, non-impactive, build your cardio and build your muscles back up and get rid of that weight. Right. So I decided to do a challenge and start it. I'm kind of doing my own little twist on it. So I'm calling it, I start out with 10 a day, and each day I add a rep. So you run in place for 10 seconds, and then you do jumping jacks, 10, and then you do stretches, and then other kind of stretches, and then push-ups, and then leg lifts and sit-ups, right? And then each day, so I started on the 10th, each day I add 1 rep. So in 30 days, I'll be doing 40 reps, right? Squats too. I put squats in there too because those are good for your legs.
I saw that you posted. Yeah, I saw it.
So that's my challenge is every day I'm going to add one. So think about it. I'm not putting myself into a high impact mode trying to get there in one day. But I know because I used to do the 8 minutes a day years ago, and I know it gets you in shape. I know it works. So it doesn't take long. You know, it's taking me 5 minutes in the morning right now. You know, by the end of the month, it'll take me probably 15 minutes, you know, to get it all done. But we got to do these little things, these challenges to motivate ourselves. And then I've been decorating my corner.
I love that. I want to show you something. Hang out, because I've been making something for you. I told you, but I have to go to the kitchen to get it. But
okay.
And I promise, I saw your challenge. But you know me, I like to sleep in. But I promise. But I got therapy at 7:30 in the morning. I'll start my thing tomorrow. Okay. And I purposely told him to start booking me early so I can actually wake up.
But we're going to see what you're going to bring and everything.
I'm the same way.
Doing that and everything. I do want to give a shout out also to somebody that has just recently come back off of quarantine and everything of that nature. But as you will recall, and we were talking about what Ankit is going through, but my uncle had passed away, and his older cousin, his older son, one of my fellow older cousins in my family and everything, has just recently come back from Saudi Arabia. He just got off of quarantine, so he and his wife are actually spending some time together before he goes back to Saudi Arabia. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Emmett Spurlock, who is my cousin, who is just, like I said, back from Saudi Arabia, and who will also be spending some time with his younger brother, who was involved with the funeral arrangements and things of that nature, and having a time to have some of that personal mourning, because like I said, he was in Saudi Arabia at the time that his dad passed, but he is back in the States now and he is off of quarantine. So I definitely want to give a shout out to my cousin, Emmett Spurlock.
That's
prayers.
So cool, man. That's amazing. I'm so worried about people that have to travel for a living or their family somewhere else, because, you know, a month or two is one thing, but this thing has been gone for we're in month number 10. So a lot of people, a lot of families, they could be healthy, but they're nowhere near each other. And like we were saying earlier, that psychological thing, you know, I can't imagine, because I know people that I'm trying to get to that I can't get to, and it's not even for music. It's just because that's where I would be going. I'd try to get to, you know, see my cousins in Virginia, my family there, and I can't go. And it's like, I'm like, oh man. But Kim, I'm building this for you. I'm gonna try to make it so it doesn't tip. And I told you a long time ago I was gonna build this thing for you where it's your own alien collection, right? But I'm not quite done, because I have to kind of do it and keep everything in place. But I didn't forget. I want you to know I'm building your own little birdhouse alien thing just for you. And I told you that's why I needed your address, because I was going to send it to you. But I said, hey, we can meet for coffee, and I was going to give it to you then. But I just got to finish it. I got to make it so it stays, because I have this certain way that I do it. And I've been gathering from my collection. These are all one-of-a-kind items, you know, like yo-yos. You're not going to really see yo-yos and things like that. So, you know, I was building just for you as my producer, okay? Just so you know.
My yo-yo. You're going to see me yo-yoing on set.
I got
yo-yo on a regular basis now. There's no doubt about that. You're going to be just yoing left and right. So we know that we're going to be seeing that on a regular basis. So definitely folks will be saying that. By the way,
I didn't forget you. I'm working on it. I got you.
We're going to go have tea too. This isn't over, right? We're going to get together. We're going to have that tea, and we're going to be able to do things. You know, we just have to, if you watch the movie 93 Days, we just have to be patient.
Yeah.
We have to work together, be a team, and get control over it. The doctors are finding treatments for this, right? Dr. Moskowitz has a 100% success rate with his patients and himself with his treatments. No vaccine treatments. So you know, and
Absolutely, no doubt about that. By the way, I do have to tease Zach though, because one of our other main producers, Gwen Bond, was just saying that Zach has got a whole alien merchandise line going on. So it's like he started his own business, alien merchandise line.
We're gonna start the number 9. We're gonna start the number 9 store.
Hey, I'm working on that. That's part of the whole Nappy Head collection. I'm not really tipping too much of what I'm doing, but I am in the process of with having stuff done. The nappy wear, the shirts, the hats, the whole 9. I'm actually working behind the scenes, like I told Kim privately. So I'm not tipping too many things just yet. Again, everything is geared towards 2021.
That's right.
Because, like you just said, Kim, we just got to relax. It's hard as hell, but we got to relax. Just
you know what? Enjoy the fact that we got a second moon this month.
Yeah.
15 moons in this year. Maybe that's the reason why we had bad luck. But let's move it into the positive. We've got 2 moons this month that are full. We can bring some creativity and close this year out with confirmation.
Yeah.
This year out with a confirmation and stand on our convictions that we're gonna go into 2021 with a new attitude, with positive, and it's gonna be changed, but we're gonna live with it.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it happen, right? And we're gonna but here's the thing, we're united. At IBM TV, think about all the people we have gotten to know, all of the people I got to see Ken. Think about all of the people, though, all of them. I got to know you guys. We're friends. I got an alien buddy, and we get to know each other now. I wouldn't have had this if it wasn't for COVID.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I got to agree with you on that, because there are a number of folks that I have met through this network and everything that I would not have met otherwise, yourself included, Kim. Definitely, I've known Zach for a while, even before, but definitely we got a chance to bring our knowledge to the network and things of that nature and our connections. But we've also met folks. I know earlier that you were talking about that we might be getting another Chinese show, because we actually do have one that exists. We have Vivian's China, which you didn't mention, but we do have Vivian's China, and I would not have known Vivian. I would not have known Alexandria. I wouldn't have known those guys from over in the Northwest that do Talking Upstream later on this afternoon. So you're right. We got to meet a lot of great folks through this network, but definitely have not known Sasha. So definitely it's been a great honor to get to meet a lot of these very interesting people through the network, and also bring on some interesting people through the network as well, because I know that we've been doing a great job of that. Like I said, Zach has brought some amazing guests on the show, like some of that funk royalty that he brings us on a regular basis.
Tell me about it.
Always blown away by the folks that Alexandria brings on her show, because like I said, she gets folks both from South Africa as well as her connection to Nashville and around the world. So she's brought us a lot of great guests as well. So like I said, it's a great platform that we've got here on a regular basis, and we're using it to share a lot of knowledge to the world, and knowledge that, like you said, Kim, is needed in this time, because we got people that are talking nonsense and not sharing positive messages, whereas we're sharing a lot of positivity. We might talk about the issues, and we're not afraid to talk about the issues, but we're also not getting caught up in a lot of the histrionics and a lot of the nonsense that other people
do. The thing is you know, Zach, you said it right. Majority of us are a personality that are doing this, but that's who we are.
Yeah.
And we are going to go out there. We're going to do it, whether you tell us to or not, and we're going to figure it out. But the thing is that people rely on that.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
On the fact. But one thing I like about all of us is we have a very high empathy IQ.
Yes.
Every one of us are humble. We understand the pain and suffering that other people are going through. And so it's not just about us. Okay, guys, it's not just about us. So I want to shift gears a little bit, because we're still in political season. I was hoping Bill would join us, but I want to get the message out there. People vote.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Use your voice. I don't care who you vote for.
Yep.
Use your voice. Let this be the one time in your life, because we get it once every 4 years, that this is your freedom. Yep. This is your opportunity. But get out there and get educated a little bit. don't vote for somebody just because it's a popularity contest. There are some really good classes. You're going to be hearing about them. We've got a open forum that is non-political affiliated. That's every Monday, Economics Monday. We're talking about taxes, tax policies, because that was such a hoopla. But there's a tax policy class I took last week, and I kid you not, it opened my eyes.
Wow.
I think I know it all when it comes to this kind of stuff. And then I realized that, what other people, what's out there, what's been happening while we've been distracted, and all of these policies that are coming down to place and who supports what. Really understand the policies before you understand who the people are. If you understand the policies, you might change the way you vote.
Yeah.
Because what's more important, and I say this all the time, Zach, is the policies.
Right.
That's what's going to be the change for us. That's what's going to make the change that we want, we desire, we need.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything that we were talking about this earlier when I first came aboard, but I'm sure this is just who you are. You're about change. You're a doer. Some people are talkers. Some people are sitting on the sideline people. Some people want to sit in the stands, but you're actually always on the playing field, Kim. And I applaud you for that, because you're a powerful woman in a man's game, so to speak. Even though, no, for real, I see it. I don't say much, but I see how the world is because I'm a man. But I applaud, and it's not just because I have daughters. I say this all the time. I could have no kids, 10 kids. It doesn't matter. Women should be and should have been, at the forefront of everything else, like everyone else. And it's not about race. It's about, okay, you're a powerful woman and you're trying to manipulate. So you got to almost kind of work twice as hard. And I never thought that was fair. And I'm going to say it. And, I'm just saying it like it is. And I applaud you for that. But one thing I always remember that you say that's stuck in my head is about the policies. That's what I'm talking about, how to affect and evoke change. And I think we can get more people to understand that. Maybe we can get some things done.
Well, because here's what happens that I learned in my career and journey, and it was an eye-opener, is that justice is not about justice, right? It's about whoever's there making the laws. The laws are all made, Nick's going to kill me. The laws are all made with loopholes, all right? And those loopholes are designed so that the judge can flip the decisions the way he feels to flip them that day. So there's nothing consistent about justice, right? What might be one way for one person one day is going to be different for another person the next day. And some people say that's good, but I don't think so, because I think that's where prejudice comes in, right? So if somebody's prejudiced against people, they can play that law a certain way. Now, one of the things I've watched over the years that has highly irritated me is what I call that they grease the squeaky wheel. So they go, okay, we'll write a law for you.
Yeah.
But there's nothing written in that law that enforces it.
Yep.
All right. We wrote a law. We placated you. And everybody walks away going, they wrote a law. We got a law. The law doesn't do anything. So we have to unite together. We have to write our own laws. Okay. And we're going to have to go up there together, and we have to make the change. The people have to make the change. We have to stop relying on our leaders. We have to start taking the responsibility to say what is right for us, because right now they haven't.
That's right. And you know what's funny? And two quick things, because I'm like just thinking about all this stuff. When I was going to college, right, I had to take a course, economics, whatever. I don't know what it was, micro, whatever. But I asked the professor, I said, why is the tax code so big? And he said, when they first started it, it was like that. And he said, most people don't realize, and you know this, Kim, most people don't realize you can buy into write something if you want. And my professor told all of us in class, he said, for instance, if you wanted to have a street named Zack Roberson, all you got to do is buy a line in the tax code. And he said, that's as simple as that. You pay for that. And he said, over the years, it's gotten like that, right? But I couldn't fathom that in my head, because I was like, you mean it's just as simple as that?
You know what I call that tax code that's like this big now? I call it somebody's job security.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
They had to make it so complicated so that they could have job security. It was intended to keep poverty in poverty. Okay, it was intended to keep the middle class man, the middle class heart, us, the ones who are out there working 3 or 4 jobs to make sure income's coming in. It was intended to keep us enslaved. Yeah. Okay, I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah. It was not intended to give you an opportunity because it's too complicated.
Yes.
Okay, it's way too complicated. Just like Trump said, Americans are too stupid to use it. No, Trump, we're not too stupid. The sad part is the benefits you're using, we don't qualify for. Yeah. The tax code is not written that way. Yeah. You qualify for it. We don't. But by the way, you've been in office for 4 years. You promised that you were going to make things for us equal, and you haven't. Why? Because we're too stupid. So I'm frustrated over that because people believed in something. They're hardworking. We're stretched too thin as it is at this layer, right? We take care of the people that are poverty, and we feed the rich. Yep. We're stretched too thin. The tax laws are horrible. The new policies that the Republicans, I'm just going to say, I read the book. Okay. I took the class and I pointed this out. What the Republicans want to do will not benefit any of the middle class people. But what I will say is what the Democrats want to do. Like if you are wanting to buy a new house, okay, first time homeowners are going to get a tax rebate of $15,000. Wow, that's a huge incentive to go out and save your money and buy a house. The student debt is going to be reduced by $25,000.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, so there are so many things, but hear me out on the difference between the two policies. The Democrat policy plan is to incentivize, and this is something that these guys who taught the class didn't catch. It's intended to incentivize circulation of money. It's intended to encourage you to save and spend.
Right.
Okay. And I know that sounds stupid. Save and spend.
Yeah.
It's encouraging you to save your money to buy the bigger things in life you want.
Right.
Need and to pay off your debts. But it's there, but the top 1% don't want you to have that.
No, they don't want
and
you
there's
to
nothing, and I'm going to tell you what, with the Democrat policies, it did not lower the bar for the rich people. There was not anything in there that really lowered the bar on the rich people. All it did was give relief to the middle class.
Yeah.
So, and it raised the bar and gave some relief for poverty, because when you relieve the middle class man, you actually relieve the weight on the poverty.
Yeah.
People don't see that, but get out there and vote. Learn. This is what I tell people: learn for yourself. Don't just trust me. But by God, don't trust the media right now. Please don't trust the media, because they're filling you full of the idealisms that they want you to vote for.
Yeah.
And, there's no reason why you can't go. That class I took was the most comprehensive tax policy class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free. I'm going to be posting. I don't have the link right now, but I'm going to be posting it. I'm just going to tell people it was an hour out of my time. Big whoop, right? I could have, instead of watching some TV show, I watched that, and I worked at the same time and watched it. And that's
what I was going to mention too, and I wanted to get 2 quick points in. They have this, and everybody should see this in North Carolina. So you get a chance, and you can go to your electoral board. You can go everywhere and find this for all everybody watching in North Carolina. Just so you know, read up on the candidates. Don't just vote for certain people simply because they're in the party, but you have to read up. And the thing that I try to do, that's why, Mark could tell you every other day I'm asking him, when can we early vote? When can we early vote, right? And I just do it to annoy him, but I do ask him, right? Only because I didn't want to vote by mail early and not read up on everything. Like you said, certain policies that we have to put in place, these are going to affect your kids, Kim, Mark's nephews, my daughters. They're going to affect us. So we got to be really sure this time to get it right. We cannot blow this one. And another thing, which is funny, last week I was watching Saturday Night Live on YouTube, the highlights, and Chris Rock, I love him, was on there, right? He said, whoever wins this should be the last president we ever have. We should go to a completely, he was funny. He said, we should, and I agree with him, we should go to a completely different system. He said, because the whole thing, Congress, Senate, this, that, Republicans, Democrats, none of that has worked. You know, maybe it used to, but it don't work.
I've been saying that for 2 years, 3 years now. We need to get rid of the system we have. We don't need one president anymore. We need a president for each kind of situation.
Yes.
Right? Needs to be run like this country needs to be ran like a company now, and that to me is a matrix of people. Not it's and they go, oh, we have a Senate and we have a Congress. No, that doesn't work anymore.
And that was supposed to be what we were supposed to get, because that was the thought process behind this particular gentleman. But some of us just knew better. But if it's like you said, Kim, and this is important, this is why I'm so passionate about it. We really don't need one person. Can't do this now. This is not, you know, we got like, it's not 13 colonies, you know, where George Washington could be like, oh, it's only 13 of y'all. It's like, you know, 49 and 50 count Puerto Rico as a territory. So we need certain things. There's no way California can be governed like, say, Texas. There's no way Texas can be governed like, say, New York. There's no way Michigan can be governed like North and South Carolina. You know, certain things on a national level got to be fixed, because there's no way one person can do this job. It just can't be done. Can't be done.
Yeah, you're so right. By the way, Kim, I was sharing the website that you gave, so
scroll down too, so they can see the link that you click on. So if you scroll down, you'll see that. And again, guys, these are the free rich man classes. Okay, these are rich man classes, and it's free. Take them. This is why I told somebody, watch the people who get rich. Learn from them. But these people are giving you free seminars on what the tax policies are. And here's where they start out. This is not a non-political. We are not here about the politics of this. We are here to share with you what each policy is, what it means, and how it plays out. And I highly 1 hour of your time is not going to kill you to learn something so powerful. But I get it, Zach. You're absolutely right. We need to change how we rule this country. But one of the problems I have with our country is the laws are different in every state.
Yeah.
We gotta stop that. Okay, if we're in the United States for a reason, and I hate the law where they say, okay, state, you have your state law. If you want to appeal it, then federal law trumps state law. Well, why bother having the state law?
Right, exactly.
Why have that appeal process? Why can't I just have the federal law?
Yep.
So, and kid you not, the process is designed to wear the victims down.
Yes,
it is not designed to wear the crooks down. Okay, it is designed, and the crooks. I'm going to be honest with you. The crooks are our government. They're the most organized crime. And you know what? I know they're going to come after me after this.
No, me too. But it's good.
But the thing is that they do everything right now to hinder us. And there are a few good people. Okay, there are a few good people, and I think a few good people have been corrupted. They had to compromise their positions and their convictions in order to get other things done. And I don't think our system should be like that. I think our system should be like a whiteboard. And we go, this is the problem we have. We're not going home until we fix it.
And, you know, we brand in this country. We've gotten to this thing when branding became this social thing. Before, branding used to be, okay, you're ABC, NBC, TBS, you're Coke, Pepsi, whatever, right? But now we've gotten to this thing to where the brand and the concept behind it means one thing, but what you actually get is another. It's like they are constantly baiting and switching on us, constantly. And that's the wear down part. It wears a normal working man or woman that's got to hump 8 hours, then do another hump 4 hours for the kids, then still try to get a nap in between their next job. It just totally the bait and switch, because every minute now there's a bait and switch. It used to be like, okay, well, 4 years from now it's going to be this. But now it's like every 5 minutes, oh, no, it's not that, it's this. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, right? I just started driving Uber again. Lord knows I don't want to be out there, but I got to make money. So the guy and I was talking, come from 2 different walks of life, but we both said the same thing. Whatever it is, it ain't working.
Right.
You know? And it's gotta come from us, Kim. How can the average person out there, Kim and Mark, get to the point to where they can tangibly grab something and shake life into it? How do we get that tree? How do we get the fruit off the tree to get it to people?
So
one thing you just said very earlier.
Educate.
Yeah, is educate. That's what I was going to say. Educate on all the different levels, because too often we do spend time just on the national picture. And as I have stated on this network several times, a lot of those things that impact us the most importantly are on the local and the state level. So definitely do the step of everything that's going on. And those things like you're talking about, those sheets, get out there, get that information, learn about the candidates and do that kind of information. Don't just take their words for what they're saying and things of that nature. I was going to throw Kim on something really quick and everything, because one of the things that I saw recently was that, we were supposed to have had a third debate, the presidential debate, and because there's no mute button, that's part of the reason that a certain person doesn't want to do the debate, because he found out that it was going to be a virtual debate. And we know from this platform that you can control things virtually that you can't control by hitting the button. So I understand that that's part of the reason that he pulled out, was he understood that if he said something a little bit crazy or off center, they might hit the mute button, and he was a little bit worried about that.
What I think, he's afraid the fly's going to land on him like it did Pence.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But here's what we got to look at. One of my curiosities is how many people, I know a lot of people who can't read. Right. Believe it or not, in this day and time. And what you're showing me that book, Zach. And so all of a sudden my due diligence is kicking in. How are we guaranteeing the people who can't read know what is said in that book?
Yep.
Okay. Is there an audio version of that book?
Yeah, there is. And also, too, you can go online now, but a lot of people that may not have internet because of their situation, but because the library is not allowing people to actively come in, I used to get a lot of my information for free. And anybody out there that's watching, the library does have links set up to where you could actually go to your local community library, Durham, Raleigh, wherever, right? And you can pull up all the candidates' information. You can pull up their background. And this is beyond Wikipedia, because with candidates, you don't really want to look at what they're telling you now. You want to listen to that a little bit, but you really need to look and see their track record, like Kim is always saying. You need to see, okay, are they going to be helping my community with what they're saying, or are they just trying to get a foothold so they can use it as a springboard? Because that's the game of politics. Like, let me springboard off this policy and then jump up. Like, I know for a fact, and I've talked to a lot of pastors down here, when I had first moved here, and this bothered me to no end, gentrification was huge. Mm-hmm. And Mark could tell you, and you know this, Kim, you're from here, you're both from here. And when I started talking to people, and they started telling me, well, yeah, my pastor in church told our community, our neighborhood, they were going to buy up all of our existing debt to keep us from having to change the codes in our neighborhood so they can't rebuild. But what they didn't find out until they were displaced is that the pastors had made an under-the-table deal, and they knew gentrification was going to happen all along. They never intended to help their church members and goers, because the game was, well, you got to move because your pipes aren't up to code. Some of these people had lived here their whole life. So how could they upgrade their apartment if they're on a fixed income, or upgrade their house? But the church supposedly was going to come in and help them with that. But all the church did was help solidify the mortgages to another person. All these people lost their homes, especially downtown in East Durham, for the money. And that was their own pastors. And I know you're going to be mad at me for saying it out in Durham, North Carolina, but that's a fact. That's what happened. And that's what we're talking about today. That's what happened.
And I'm just going to say a lot of the religions do that. They just do. They're not here for humanity and equality. They're here for their own sustainability.
Yep.
And that, to me, that's the reason why I don't belong to a religion. And just like Bill is doing a show, a little bit of a story on what I'm dealing with right now with so-called Christians from a private school and how they behave in the neighborhood. Like they'll tear up your signs, like they put up their voting signs. You can't touch them, even though they put them on public access. I put up one on my private access and they come and tear it down. So it's that kind of thing. I get you, Zach. I'm frustrated. And this is what I tell people, think about what God would really want.
Right.
What would Jesus do?
And I know this is not nice, but I personally, the book wasn't written by God. It was written by man to tell you how he wanted to control you. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been hanging and burning and torturing women years ago. By the way, the only reason why that happened was because they wanted the property, right? All the witches and everything was about property.
Yes.
This is where I get people on their religious platform. Because people have been hitting me with, we got to get rid of Satan. They're all, the Trump people are calling Joe Biden Satan. But here's where I get back at them in the Bible. I don't think God wrote the Bible. All right. And I don't think he wrote the 10 Commandments, because if he did, I don't think he was too stupid to sit there and say, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Because now that just opens up the door for me to, thou shalt covet thy neighbor's husband. I don't think God was that stupid. Man wrote these laws. Okay. Man wrote them. So be very careful and cautious, because truly, if you really want to go to heaven, if you believe that there is, be cautious about what you believe. Be cautious about what you read and interpret. And you know what? I think God built us all to be equal.
He did. It's in our DNA.
Right. And to be respected equally. And I think that that's what equality meant. Yep. Equality wasn't about that we all can do the same things. We can't. Okay. Yep. Respect equally. Respect your body as if it's God, right? Respect others and I truly believe that. And that's not my religion. I'm not trying to push religion. What I'm trying to do is make people think about respecting each other. And when we all have respect for ourselves and each other, and this is what I'm learning on our spiritual day, then that's when we work together. Okay. Yep. And for the first time in my life, and I know Bill feels this tension too, I see Sodom and Gomorrah happening.
It's here.
If I believed in the Bible, I don't see uniting. And you know what a good leader does? A good leader unites.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
A good leader, no matter how divided the world is, a good leader, King Solomon, if you believe in the Bible, right, could unite. And, we have seen and time again in our own history where even during war, scientists got together to find solution. Scientists from two different sides of the war got together to solve a human problem.
Yep.
So that's
and you're right. Yep, you're right. Because, and I tell people something that was profound that changed my life was when I read Carl Sagan's book, The Pale Blue Dot.
Right.
And I tell everybody, man, please read that book. It's very important, because all it does is really take what we're talking about on IBM. We could be a microcosm. We could be a chapter in that book, because we're just looking at things globally. That's all we're doing. We all bleed. Everything on this planet that has life bleeds. Plants and flowers and trees bleed water. They bleed sap. Everything. And the way the universe has it set up, it has us set up to succeed. But like you said, Kim, man comes along and man says, oh, I'm going to do this. or I'm gonna say that, or I'm gonna enslave this, or I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put thoughts in you. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And then, like you said, somebody wrote, well, one day it's gonna be Sodom and Gomorrah. But the things that we're living in right now, Nostradamus had said, the Egyptians had said, the cycle. We have to figure out how to break the cycle, the ones that are in the dark. And that's what it is, Kim. You're right, because globally, if you looked at human beings from space, you'd be like, oh, well, they got their stuff together. But by the time you get right down to the anthills of it all, everybody's health is it's scary, right? Think about
it. I'm loving this because you're absolutely right. You are
quick. Just before we get ready to wrap up, and I do want to play some of the commercials or spots of some of our other shows. But before we get ready to do that, there's a very important issue that I know touches on you, touches on Kim, and I think they had a day recently. So I would love if you would also address a little bit about the importance of our mental health and things of that nature, because I know you brought it up on Funk from the front seat, but I'd love to hear you reflect on that as well, because I do think that a lot of times we don't pay enough attention to that aspect of our lives. We pay attention to the spiritual aspect, which y'all have explored a little bit, and definitely to our physical exercise, but we don't do enough with our mental. So I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about that, and you also, Kim.
Go, Zach.
Well, again, and I'm not ashamed to say I have suffered from depression. I understand it. I have it under control. I was not afraid to go reach out and talk to somebody. I'm not ashamed to say anybody that suffers from depression, or you think you know somebody that does, it's a quiet kind of thing. It's a personal thing. And people always feel ashamed, or they feel self-doubt, or there's an esteem thing happening in someone sometimes, and this is just me personally, where you feel like nobody's really going to understand. But I'm here and I'm looking straight to camera to tell everybody out there are people that understand. There are plenty of people in place to help you. Do not ever be afraid if you feel a certain kind of way, especially if you feel suicidal or anything, to reach out to one of your friends. There's been times when I call my friends, and I've said this on air many times, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because I just couldn't get it together. But they was there on the other end. And I'm telling everybody, somebody at IBM will always be here to talk about that. Mental illness is a real thing. It's not a stigma. It's nothing to be laughed at. People have certain pressures in their lives that will trigger certain things. And if you know somebody and you know you're close with them and you see them and they're in some kind of way, don't be afraid to ask them, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Can I help you with something? And let me tell you something. It's never about money. The problem is sometimes you don't have enough of it, but the issue is you have to understand how to deal with present situations. Some people handle them better than others. I'm here to tell you, reach out. I'm glad I did. For many years, I talked to a therapist. I am not ashamed to say it. I have two, a woman and a man, and they help me get through things that my energy at this time of my life can't handle. And I'm able to deal with it. And this outlet, I'm able to share that with others. And I just want people to know that we love you. There's always going to be somebody that loves you. Please reach out and know that it's important. Reach out to your community as well.
Reach out to us. And Zach, you couldn't have said it any better. I always tell people your brain is your biggest muscle. And, why not apply fitness and maintenance to it as well? I used to, my family used to tell me, don't go see a psychiatrist because people you think you're crazy. And I teach my kids, go see a psychiatrist, otherwise you will be crazy. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with talking with someone who can walk you through your problems, because it's just like a garden, right? You got to take care of that garden. Everything that blossoms up here, you got to take care of it, make sure it's fed right. And all of these things that Zach is talking about, don't be afraid to reach out to people. And one of the things I found is that it's about acceptance, and we're missing that right now, right? That's probably the biggest gap. But young people, it's about disappointing people. They don't want to disappoint people. So we got to reach out to and get the message out there. Don't worry about whether you disappoint someone. Don't worry about whether you're accepted by this group or that, because you're accepted here.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to, and don't be afraid to reach out to even us. We're not going to give you counseling, But what we are going to do is uplift you and maybe point you to a doctor or to a counselor or I mean, even a preacher in some cases. You know, a good friend, like Zach said, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, the doctors might not be there, but a good friend, just to voice sometimes. Then, I mean, you know, and when you get that off your chest, you feel better. But don't let suicide be your tactic. Don't let it be your last choice either. You know, don't let it be a choice. Please don't. And let's wrap up, Mark, with some happy vibes. Let the funk music be the music that heals your soul.
That's right.
Yeah, that funk music will definitely get your soul going and things of that nature. There's no doubt about that. It always does. I know that so definitely keeps you rolling, that power of one and all of that. So definitely we always enjoy the funk music on a regular basis. And I agree with you that we've got to be able to take care of the folks that are going through a variety of things in health and things of that nature. I know I was having a conversation with somebody earlier.
There you go.
That was coping with a daughter that has Rett syndrome. I believe that that's also being honored this month as well. And that's a very difficult disease that goes on. And definitely folks kind of like have they never fully develop past like their baby years and things of that nature, but they live in some cases very long lives, even into their 20s and 40s and things of that nature. So I was talking to somebody, like I said, that's got that. And I know that a buddy of ours, actually, me and Zach's, a buddy of his actually is part of that autism spectrum and everything. And his son actually just celebrated his 21st birthday. So give a shout out to Gary Messenger, who I know pointed that out.
Yeah.
The fact that his son was celebrating 21, but he is part of that spectrum. So definitely, no matter where you fit within the things that are going on in mental health, physical health, and everything else, definitely know that you got support groups both here as well as in the greater community. So definitely there are folks out there that can honor us and definitely help us on a regular basis. You know, we're getting ready to wrap everything up, but before we get out,
one quick thing, give me just a little more time.
We've got some great shows going on and everything, and I do want to let folks know about those. So I'm going to put on one of me and Kim's favorite shows, which is, of course, the other Zach in the family, and that's the Talking Upstream people. So I'm going to let them what they've got coming on, because they will be on at 4:30 doing whiteboarding, which I know Kim is a big fan of. So they'll be whiteboarding various shows, and of course we've got Alexandria coming on at about the 3 o'clock hour, and she'll be doing all kinds of great things as well. But right now, I'm going to put on the spot for Talking Upstream, and y'all can see what they are all about. And another show that we love a lot here is American Politics. So check out what this is all about. And as Kim said earlier, investment is a very important thing, and we need to be thinking about that on a regular basis. And we've got shows about investment as well, so check this one out. And last but not least, we're going to check out our ambassador, because our ambassador oftentimes comes on and tells us what we should be doing in this age of COVID. And then right after that, I'll get this old airplane to get us all out of here.